What if I put my prices up? Or is the real question, what if I don't? My name's Andy Crook, and my mission is to help garage owners become more successful in business. We're going to look at the 3 reasons why you should put your prices up, the real reason why you haven't, and the result of not putting your prices up. What happens if you do put your prices up? The first thing you'll notice is that you'll have more income, which sounds obvious, but it's true. And that income could allow you to invest in the business to provide a better service. And if you have a better service, you can win and keep better customers. But that principle relies on the principle of fair exchange. So if we put our prices up, we have more income. With that income, we can invest more in the business, which means we can provide a better service, which means we can win and keep better customers. So it's win-win-win in effect. But it does rely on the principle of fair exchange. What is fair exchange? It means that both parties have to feel like the transaction is equal, that you're getting what you want out of the transaction and the customer's getting what they want out of the transaction. So what happens if it isn't a fair exchange on one side or the other? Then ultimately the relationship will come to an end because one party will be dissatisfied with what they're getting from the arrangement, which is why you can't just keep putting up your prices and not improving any of the services. Because if you do that, you will start to lose customers because they will have felt ripped off or that you're too expensive for the value that you provide. So that is the negative, if you like, of putting your prices up. But that only applies if you don't reinvest in your business. Now, the other thing about putting your prices up, and that's linked to the principle of fair exchange, is that the higher your price, the more you want to do a better job, or the more able you are to do a better job, because you're able to, as I've said, invest more in your business because you have a surplus of cash to invest in the business instead of getting to the end of the month, year, quarter, and just about paying your bills. So they're the 3 reasons why you should put your price up. Number 1, more income, therefore more profit. Number 2, it allows you to invest in your business. Number 3, it allows you to provide a better service, which ultimately results in you winning and keeping better customers. So that's why you need to put your prices up. So the real reason why you haven't is fear. And the fear of the unknown, of not knowing what happens when you do put your prices up. Now, everybody has a certain amount of pushback, a certain amount of reluctance to do it until they've done it and they realize, oh, you know what? That wasn't so bad. But what happens if you don't? What happens if you listen to this video and go, you know what, and you're wrong, my customers won't pay more? Ultimately, what you'll be doing is working for less because inflation is real and inflation continues and has done over the last 20 years. The average inflation over the last 20 years was 2.62%, which means that if you haven't put your prices up year on year by around about 3%, you're working for less because of something called net present value. Have you noticed that prices around you are going up for all your other commodities, especially utilities, gas and electric? Is it not right and fair that you pass on your increasing costs to your customers to cover your overheads? Everybody else is doing it. Why don't garages? Now, that, in essence, is the reason why you should keep increasing your prices year on year, is to keep up with inflation. Otherwise, the work you're doing now, this year, if you did exactly the same last year, this year you're doing it for less. In effect, although the money you're changing hands is the same, something called net present value means that your cash today will be worth less tomorrow. And if you extract that over longer periods of time, you start to work out that the work you're doing now, you're doing it at effectively a lesser labor rate than you were before, which is not a great idea in business. Because if your fixed costs are increasing, your labor rate must increase to cover those fixed costs. And if inflation means that a penny in your pocket now is worth less than a penny in your pocket tomorrow, then you need to somehow account for that. But here's a question I want to ask just to end on. When was the last time a customer asked you what your labor rate was? How often does that happen? If you think about that, all they want to know is how long and how much. So how long is it before you can do it and when it'll be finished, basically? And how much is it going to cost me? They're not really worried about the difference between the cost of the parts, the sundries, the labor. They just want to know what they will be paying when they come to pick it up and when they can drop it off. For us as garage owners, the labor rate, it's a big thing. Actually, it's not that important to the customers. All they want to know is what will the final bill be? How that bill is made up is not that important to them. So I think we need to get over ourselves a bit and decide, you know what? Let's get in line with the rest of the country and make sure we're covering our costs by putting our prices up to cover our fixed costs, because we're not doing it to exploit customers. We're doing it so that the business remains healthy, that it remains profitable, and therefore it continues trading, offering that great, fabulous service that independent garages provide to our customers.